Hey there, Jason. Well, sort of feeling human again, maybe, but still not 100%. Today is, well, this evening rather, it looks like it's vertigo is my friend, so I think it's because I've got a blockage or build up in my ear canals, my drainage pipes in my ears, and it's throwing things out of whack. So hopefully if I fall off the stream, then you know it's because I lost my balance and just, yeah, fell into the abyss of unbalanced life. Right. Just have to get some glass off there. Yep, it's all good. Alright. So Harold, Byron, no, Byron's here. Hey, Mike Sims, Jeremy. You hear about the big news that happened in Queensland today? I did not, so now I'm going to go and check. 2 police officers, what? What? Jeez. What the hell? Yeah, that's not good. Out there doing your job and bam, that's really not good. Someone is going to have to pay quite dearly for that. Interesting that they say offenders, meaning they think there's more than one person. Normally I'm all over the news pages during the day, but I have not been today. And I've also, not to downplay that news, but I also haven't received my circuit boards, so it's not great. 2 offenders, military. Oh, great. You got a pair of those sort of nut jobs. Fantastic. Okay, that'll explain. Alright, well basically, yeah, this is a 1466. You may recognize it's been here before. I made the mistake whereby I assumed it was all good, but it turns out it's not quite all good. Works fine on sort of clone generic Magsafe bricks, but for the actual genuine ones it says nay, and that's often because the SMC one wire circuit, something's going wrong in there. So we'll just have to go through and have a look. First we'll eliminate whether it's a DCIN board, and then if it's not that, then we'll just actually I might as well do the DCIN board test now. Part of the problem with my testing setup is that because I do power these boards off the power supply, we don't actually get to test it for that particular fault. And unfortunately the fault is sufficiently infrequent that you forget to test for it. Okay, so we've got our own Magsafe DCIN board there, and we are going to test the customers. It's a good thing that they sent me the customer's Magsafe brick. Normally I don't get people to send me the Magsafe stuff because it's normally you can ascertain whether it's faulty or not pretty easily remotely without having to get them sending it up, which is another thing to put into packaging. Okay. I'll throw a chipmunk in here as well. Anyway, needless to say, there's no illumination of the chipmunk. We've got absolutely nothing coming up on my status LEDs for that. But if I plug in my power supply one, hey Diatom, then as you can see it fires up just fine. And I have checked with another MagSafe adapter and same results. I also tested it with Harold's MagSafe tester. I'll just demonstrate that. This is a contraption that lets you know if you've got a genuine or not, how it's behaving. Let's see, customers. Oops, helps if I line it up. There we go. Oops, helps if... sorry Harold, I'm making a mockery here of it. So I get 15 volts, the CRC is good. Shows it as a MagSafe 245 watt. And very basically 0 volts for the end state, which is what you want. The non-genuine ones will still put out, you know, full voltage in that state. So that shows that that is working as far as I can tell. Hey, full wave, yeah, the 1466 is dead easy to remove. So that's right, Harold. That was showing that the customer's one was all good, wasn't it? Please tell me I was correct in what I read. Alright, so we're going to take this out because getting access to the stuff isn't quite so easy on this side of the board. Probably going to need an SMC replacement if I'm unlucky. Yep, definitely feeling a little bit lost. Oh, that one's mine. Oh no, that's right, that's a replacement, yep. Okay, thanks Harold. Just wanted to be 100% sure before I committed myself to the next stage of this process. It's a handy tool, particularly if you've got a lot of MagSafe bricks that you need to quickly run through and check. It will do MagSafe 1 and 2, so it's good for filtering through that pile of old ones sitting in some box somewhere. Full wave rec, yeah, the 1466 is certainly one of the favourite ones that you can repair without having to hurt yourself too much. The nice thing is, if things go wrong, it's not too much drama to get a new board. Yeah, there's a lot of options for the customer. And of course the data doesn't get lost, unless of course the SSD itself fails, which can happen, but it's not too bad. Okay, I'm just going to go over and have a look at the SMC area and the other various bits and pieces. I mean, everything looks nice and pristine. Yeah, well, time to bring out the board viewing schematic. It is on the microscope. It's the microscope itself needs to reboot. Interesting. It's not one thing, it's another. It's coming up. Give me a moment. There we go. I really don't know why this. I wish I can get better firmware for this. But for some reason it forgets every single time the settings that I tell it to have. It's quite frustrating. Okay. Hey, Neon van Reaper. I apologise, my voice is sort of wavering a little bit. Just a little bit beaten up still. Bugs getting in my face. What the frickety fuck? I think the mouse battery is about to die or something, I don't know. Okay, so we've got sys1 wire 0.74 on the diode mode. Who knows, Jason? Who knows? I guess they like to modify the language to make it their own with a lot of things. Let's see, which one is this? Over the first caps, that's that one there. Well, it's right on the mark for that. Let's have a look where it comes out on that. This one here. So it's right next to the ground, right next to the second ground. On the bottom. There's a bit of plastic there, but that's not actually... So that's not... Well, that connection looks perfectly good. The connector itself looks pretty good. Man, it's annoying when you get these situations. I'll just test the continuity to make sure we actually are getting continuity. So it should be that one there. Yep. See, the thing is, all the other processing of the one wire circuit happens on the DCIN board on these. And since it's a very pristine looking board, yeah, I'm really going to have to just assume it's a bad the SMC section for talking to sys1 wire is taking a hit. Because there's very little, when it comes to the one wire circuit, there's very little in the actual, on this board. Yeah. Like, there isn't even a pull-up. That's the, yeah, it's just straight into the SMC, nothing more. So that's, I just would try the SMC. There's the mouse for the microscope still up there. Ah, bloody SMCs. Well, at least we do have the what do you call it? The boot stick now that allows us to use things like 34, 37 SMCs, because I don't have any 165 SMCs left. And at least now that we have got the SMC tool, it means I don't have to worry so much. Hey there, Andrew. So I get for using the wrong tweezers. Ow, jeez, burned my fingertips. Looks good. Oops. Okay, now I've just got to find an SMC. Be it 3437 or 165. It'll most likely be 3437. I mean, I've got a lot of them, relatively. But I've also got a hell of a lot more boards that have no SMC on them. It's kind of crazy to think how many of these 1466 boards I have these days. Worst case scenario, I've got plenty of donor 3437s in terms of they work, but I don't care. They're not really, their value now is strictly in parts. Getting to the point where I need to just start throwing out some of these boards. Aha! It's one, but it looks like that's had a job done on it, so it's probably not the best choice. Ah, there we go. One that has not been touched. Of course, the fun thing with all the donor boards is there's no guarantee that it actually is a functioning SMC on it. You're just assuming that it died from other causes. That's a pretty decent looking one, so I'll give us 50% chance. And this is actually, yeah, it's a 3437 board. What coil are you referring to, Luke? Because the machine itself works fine if you use a fake one. So I'm not really sure which coil you're referring to, or inductor or otherwise, filter. Hey Jessica, welcome. Yes, it has been a while. Sure you have your reasons. I just need to clean out this area. As I've mentioned before, if there's too much junk in there, it ruins the reflow. And by junk I mean flux. Yeah, I'm just trying to think what coil you're talking about, Luke. You're talking about the one that supplies the bulk of the power to the SMC? What is it, L4905 or something? L5001. I mean, I'm happy to hear if I've missed something, because by God, I do it enough as it is. I definitely miss plenty of things. Yeah, that's still looking gnarly. We'll use some more aggressive downward pressure. Okay, more gnarly pressure helped. Right, let's do our little opposing corner jig. Pick ourselves a nice healthy looking specimen from around here that we hope will be the legitimate size that we're after. Yep, squish that one clean in half. The problem here is that I'm down at 250 Celsius, so the chip doesn't heat up that quick. Hey Daniel, welcome back. Okay, now we need an SMC stencil. Ugh, that one's got lots of gnarly stuff in it. Sorry, I'm just trying to find something here. Yeah, that's not blocked up or anything. Jessica, it's been fairly quiet. I'm very thankful for. We've mostly just had the whips. Actually, that said, we did have a blind snake tonight, so fortunately that's no real drama. And best of all, no one was harmed in that. Just a case of getting my hands on the blind snake and taking it back outside somewhere safe. But mostly it's yellow-faced whips. I'll tell you though, I haven't seen any moon snakes lately. Orange nape snakes. That's a little bit dirty, but it's dirty in a way that's not going to be a problem. Right, now I need my balls. See, we usually get the snakes, well, from about 2 months ago they started rolling out. As soon as it gets warm up here, they start rolling for the breeding season. And that's usually when they get caught out the most, because when they're in the breeding season they're a bit stupid. A bit like, quite like humans really, when they're in the breeding season of life. They're stupid. And subsequently that's when they run into the interactions with other things like cats and dogs that they're not supposed to run into. Normally they'd be more cautious, but they got to breed, man, so they're gonna go all out and do stupid moves at stupid times of the day when there's the wrong kind of audience. It's way too many balls there. Perfect, I think. Is that? Yeah, it looks pretty damn good to me. what I love about this is that there's no tape involved, there's no holding down the stencil, you know, there's none of that stuff. It's just a bit of patience. Feels like there's a wire down there between top right. Oh, it looks like we've got a bit too much airflow going on around here. Let's see if we can hold it down. Anyway, we just got to be patient, wait for everything to heat up. Yeah, it's getting there, but I've got to also make sure that the SMC itself is warm enough. Okay, and then we get a blob and we heat up our flux, and then get that flux to wick out. And they should all just magically decide to become part of the whole SMC. We've got a couple that are looking a little bit disagreeable there. It's okay, we can provide some coercive action on them. Sometimes you just got to squish them a little. Looks good. Now, Daniel, these are 0.35s. So I know the stencil says 0.3, but I've always found 0.35 to be the sweet spot for me. Looks like they're all there. Yep, looks good. Get these little bubbles of flux that mislead you into thinking there's something weird going on there. I think we can be pretty happy with those. Hey Warren. Trying to see whether I need to give it a sort of another warm over. Sometimes I'll give it another warm over. Sometimes it's important to do that. You can have them just sitting on their pads and you think that it's all good, but then when you go and put it onto the board, if they're not actually attached, then they just roll right off. And it's, yeah, okay, we're getting to centralize them now. Yeah, they're pulling into center a bit more. So it looks like they were all attached, but at least now they've actually centered in on the pads properly. Like every now and then, Lewis would use what you do is, if you lose the pad, but you can still access the stalk, you can sometimes drop a ball in there and reflow it. But the trouble is, most of the time the stalks you need a ball that's smaller than, smaller than even 0.2. So things like these 0.35s would just be way too big. Okay, now on this board, pin 1 goes up to these notches here. Let's hope this bastard doesn't fly away. Fortunately, at least with this microscope ring light, I can get a much better overhead angle on the nozzle of the hot air. So it's a little easier not to screw it up. Don't worry, I still can very much screw it up, and this may well screw up as soon as the flux that's left over on the SMC, as soon as that becomes liquid enough to drop down and join in with the flux that's on the board, it may decide to swim away still. But certainly being able to have a more upright angle on the hot air helps considerably. Okay, that's good. That drifted in nicely, and now we're just going to wait for it to settle in. We get that nice bead of flux all the way around. Give it a few more seconds, and we're good. Warren, yes, I am running the new ring lights. This is the one that has the proper connector, switch assembly on it and everything. Yeah, look pretty good. Just cooling off the board a bit. Hopefully we get a win here. Hey Creature. I meant to reply to your email, Creature. I was going to say that all that's happening with your icing situation is it's doing you a favor. It's sucking the moisture out of your soul and using it to plug up that hole. So I don't see what the problem is. You just need to drink more so that it can keep filling up that gap. Obviously not a problem I'm even remotely aware of, living over here in the luxury land of warmth. I'll put the chipmunk in just to see what goes on. Now obviously this is a 3437 SMC, but it will perform well enough for me to be able to do this check. Okay, there we go, and that's with my other one. Let's try the customer's one. Crap. Wow. Have I got that plugged in? Yep, got that plugged in. That's weird. Because I've got my own original here, and this one works. And you can tell it's original because it's all horribly beaten up. And it works. Or at least it did. Yeah, see, it came up green light straight away. but then it does black out. Like that. Very interesting. Alright, well I'm going to flash the SMC, and then after that we'll test again. And if that still doesn't work, then I'll change that connector there. It's still pretty weird. There's always a glorious chance that the SMC we took had the same problem. Unlikely, but anyway. We don't need fan. Let's see, yeah, Derek Chan. Turns out ISL reporting overcurrent to SMC, then SMC has charged to cut power. But then that you would expect to happen on all the Magsafes. This one's only doing it on the customer's one, but the customer one works on other machines and also passed the test. So it's a little weird. Let's see. I need my SMC tool boot stick. Hey Patrick, good evening. Let's see, mem test. Mojave. No, no. I know I've got an SMC tool in here. SMC, huzzah! Okay, very handy USB stick. Allows you to utilize the SMCs of other machines. SMC tool. Thank you, Patrick, for the $3. Okay, so we want 820.00165.NSH. And that is now done. That is a very, very handy tool to have. Yeah, that is just weird that that is doing that. I might have to go get another 165 machine just to see what's going on. Funnily enough, the tool is actually it's from Apple's software, although the tool is not. Sorry, the tool uses Apple's software, but the tool is not from Apple. You can get it. It's downloaded. It's on GitHub. It's called SMC Tool. Okay, I'm just going to go get another 1466 and be right back. Okay, so this here is my Flexboard View build machine of all things. Yeah, that works. Well, crap on a cracker, eh? Alright, let's change the connector. I couldn't visually see anything wrong with the connector, but it's not to say there isn't something wrong with the connector. I'll check with our Magsafe, sorry, not our Magsafe, we'll check with our DCM board first. Jose, look at the Arnold G post. That's the one you're after. Yep. Because really, other than that connector, right? Unless there's a burnt trace in the board or something, we'll check the diode mode up at the connector, and it was 0.74 before, but we'll also check it down at the SMC again. It's not really very convenient or easy for us to check the continuity directly between the SMC and the connector, so we have to sort of infer it through checking the diode mode. Hey Pedro, what's a low life like you doing in a good place like this? Oh, you made my microscope thingy file crap its pants. Yeah, 0.72. So yeah, they're matching up. Okay, I'm missing something else here then. I just don't know what. Oh, what if it's sys-detect actually? That's a problem. Have I been that dumb today? Of course I have. PP5VS4RS3. Oh no, sys-detect, that's battery. It's not playing a part of it. Yeah, the I/O board we've actually switched over. Okay, so we've definitely tried that multiple times. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It's the second one. 0.41. That's pretty much smack on the diode mode of what it's supposed to be. It's kind of hard to believe it would be that. Jeez. This one's got me stumped, because usually it's the SMC and you're right to roll after that. Clearly not this time. Make a mockery of myself here. All those pads are looking good. So which one is this? 2.28. What is the chance? Look, I can't imagine this is the case. What is the chance the 45-watt brick doesn't work with the 2.2? But it must. They must come with it. No, that's not. Maybe it is the ISL. Don't like doing that kind of behavior though. I guess we should see if we get SMC ACBCK. Although that's usually, yeah, I don't think it's on this board. SMC. I see, okay. Why has... I don't know why my microscope thing has decided to stall like it has. It's weird. What the hell's happened to all the imagery up top? Open Broadcast is not helping either. It goes through weird quirkiness at times. 5.2, 5.4, they're smack on where they should be. Okay, I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to measure to see what SMC BCOK is. First we'll do it on the working one, and then we'll do it on, well, when I say the working one, I mean the one that's letting the power through, which interestingly I suspect the faulty one will actually give a bad reading in a way. Okay, which one after the second one? 337. Okay. Zero. Alright, let's check a couple of other things. $342. Zero. Wow, this thing's really pounding me. Okay, I mean 165s. .165s are notoriously fickle about their charges, and I'm just kind of wondering whether it doesn't. I need to know the history of this power brick, though. Like, did this? Yeah, I can't imagine they would just suddenly send it to me without having it been working prior. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I've got another genuine. Oh, I do. Be right back. Okay, so this here is another 45 watt from another customer. It's a genuine, and it was also for the same type of board, as in a 2.2 gigahertz unit. 2017, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to see if this one works. If this does work, then I will know there's probably some kind of quirky shit fault going on in that MagSafe adapter for the other one that may have come about when the original fault occurred, and it is now giving dubious readings. But let's just first see if it even works. And that's a negatory. Okay, alright, in that case we've conclusively proved the problem lies on the board. Very interesting. It is plugged in, right? Don't laugh, I've done dumb stuff like that plenty of times. Yeah, works on the other laptop. Alright, I'm happy with that at least. The joys of having multiples of the same sort of thing so that you can eliminate. I've got to go put it back to the customer's machine though, otherwise even though I haven't heard from this customer for months, they've got my rather exotic solid state external portable drive, one of the Samsung T7 or T5 units, and all I've got is their broken computer in return. And I've got to get that exchange back. I want my solid state drive back. Yeah, with the third brick, I think it's a 65 watt brick. It's a genuine. I mean, look how crappy that cable is. That's genuine. That's genuine Apple Mac. But yeah, it's weird. It's 65 watt and it mostly works. When I say mostly, see how it fades out? Yeah, you can't really see that, but anyway, it fades out. So that's a bit of a hint for us. Yeah, raw data creature, that's what I was looking for. Alright. Well, it only needs as much power as it needs. It's not like it... So we're just going to have to think about this a little more. Oh god, yes, that's right. Time to engage the brain. Not the brain. Anything but the brain. So we're going to plug in the one that doesn't work and we're going to work our way through. It's still awfully interesting. That connector is talking to me and I don't know why. Alright, so we're basically just going to go all the way back to here. Oh, you can't see that. We're going to go all the way back to over here and work our way down. You better tell me you've been plugged in that whole time. Okay. Yeah, for some reason we get stuff all. I don't even know if we're getting any one wire activity to start with, to be honest, Derek. We are literally getting nothing. It is to the point where it just doesn't even sense it. What if the DCM boards aren't compatible? What if there's an issue with both this DCM board and the other DCM board, as in the Magsafe itself, or maybe one of the resistors? So this is a 3455 or 3465. So anyway, I'm just going to try a couple of other DCM boards. Let's see if I can get any of them to kick up and run. This looks like a disaster. Everything wrong there. I guess that's a bad idea, that one. Probably should go in the bin. It's probably only there just for spare parts. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Nope. Nope. Good job, Paul. Strip the parts off that one. Bravo. Spectacular use of expensive resources. Credit to your species. Three, 12. Amazingly, I don't seem to have that many of these. How is it that I've ended up with almost no Magsafes? Ah, here we go. 3455. Looks like it's been modified a few times over. Worst case scenario, I'll have to take it out of my damned... That's what I should do. Take the logic board out of my compile machine that I know works with the customer's thing, and see if that works. I got a feeling this thing ain't gonna work. Zippity doo. Okay. Crap, which one's my good one? This one. So basically what we're going to do is when we change the logic boards over. We're going to do a two-way differential test. So with this, we know that the DCIN board works. It lights up. So I can plug this in, and it goes green. Well, this one I don't need to label because I know I don't have any 2.2 gigahertz boards for a start. And I know my own board has got a lot of things on it that will tend to lead me to understand that it's my own board. Not least of which is the fact that it's... the work I've got to do to fix things. Doing my best to not mix up the screws too much. Arnold, is that a Rossman one talking about the same situation? I can't watch other videos while I'm in the middle of my video. Something went wrong anyway. Yeah, I remember there being a Rossman video about it. Okay, it looks like I didn't have to do that. Also, was that for the 165 though, or was that for something like the 3437 or some other board? Because half the problem with the 165 and the 3437 is the fact that most of the one-wire stuff is done on the DCIN board as opposed to on the logic board. Whereas with the other ones, yeah, it's not like the 1286s and the 1398s, 1502s and all that. They all do the processing on the logic board, but for the 165, it's on the DCIN board. Okay, so this is the customer's board in my chassis that we knew does work. That's the wrong cable. Let's see what happens now. Okay, still nothing, but I'm going to put the battery in, just kind of curious. Still nothing. That really makes it difficult. I can only imagine there's something wrong with the connector, maybe the ISL, but I'd sooner go for the connector. Different firmware. Even if the firmware was different, even if the board did not even, even if the board didn't even want to boot, we're not even getting 342. We're not getting anything at all coming through on DCIN. Nothing at all. It's quite interesting. And now I've got to rebuild my build machine. I hate it when I've got to rebuild stuff. Especially when you didn't even get a definitive result out of it. Other than the fact that we just now have shown it is most definitely a problem on the logic board. Not a silly fizz? No, well, see, that's the other problem, is that it works fine with a non-genuine brick or a higher 65-watt brick. Except the 45-watt works fine on my other machine. Like I say, everything works perfectly fine. If you power it through the 65-watt brick or the power supply or everything works just fine. No problems at all. So it's something with the communication signal for some reason. I am genuinely going to replace this connector here because it's the only thing that I can think of. I will check the diode mode for the input power, but it doesn't make sense for it to not work if it was a fault there. So I'm gonna go and change this connector. I said it could be completely pointless, but it's really the only sort of thing I've got left that I can think of. And we can't trace the missing voltage in this case because there's no voltage that it just doesn't even appear at all anywhere at all, because the MagSafe doesn't activate at all. Yeah, well, long, slow, boring process coming up. This takes a good minute or two. Well, you see, the thing is, the MagSafe, all that sort of comms, it basically goes all on the sys1 wire line. And we've replaced the SMC, and basically aside from the SMC, this is the only part that carries sys1 wire. You have to be fairly cautious around here because it's very easy to wreck the camera connector. And then if you wreck the camera connector and you replace that, then you wreck the the fan connector, and then if you wreck the fan connector, you wreck other connectors. You know, it creates a cascade of issues that you have to fix. Cranking it up a little bit more. Normally I actually attack this at around about the 470 and 40% air, but slightly different tonight. Here it comes. I really cannot see anything wrong there, but who's to say? Well, I guess I better get another connector. Find one that hopefully doesn't suck so bad that I have to do things I don't want to do. It's not the world's greatest, but it'll do. Yeah. And I'm going to do this one slightly differently because it is a donor. It's going to be a bit weird for you to look at it, but it'll do the trick for me. Hey, Paul F. Now, unfortunately, we can't do that sort of rapid removal or installation with the actual board that we care about for the customer. Let's hope we didn't melt this or anything. Yeah, it looks okay. Let's see, it goes the other way around. Like that. And we're going to have to do the slow reflow process again. And then we'll have to touch it up as well. Oops, almost forgot my protective barrier here. God damn it, I got miniature cicadas landing on my arms. That does not feel like it touched down. All those pins didn't touch down. That's annoying. I'm not sure why. Maybe I left a bit of junk on the underside. That's annoying if that's the case. I think there's a piece of junk under there or something. It's doing alright on this side, which I'm thankful for. But looks like I'm going to have to go along and hand fillet those. Which is annoying. Yeah, it's just slightly imperfect. Which is profoundly frustrating. I mean, yeah, I agree, there's a lot of crap on there, but the ground pads, some of them took. Alright, that's fine. We'll just fill them in. Night, Catherine. Now, these aren't supposed to be perfect first time around. I just want to fill them in. And then I'm going to hit them with a bit of assistive heat and make them fill it properly. Whoops, that's a little much, buddy. Good thing you can easily just steal and contribute to each other. Yep, that's good. Yeah, there might have been some jaggies, but I honestly would have expected them to clear out once the solder started to flow, but clearly not. Otherwise, you spend all your evening trying to clear those jaggies to no real effect. So we've just got 150 air, which is not going to do any harm to anything, but it will let us use this micro pencil to nicely do the fillets. See if any of these ones are loose. Frequently get loose ones at the back here. Some of them are not the most ideal, but we'll see how we go first. It's only still got some flux residue, but we'll see how we go. shit on a stick. Not that either. Yeah, that works. Yeah, I don't even know how the ISL would come into it, Warren, but you're right. At this point, it's like, well, let's try the ISL. I don't see how. The only thing I can think of, if it's not sending out SMC BCAC code, but it wouldn't even be coming into play because we're not even getting 342 unless it momentarily comes up and shuts down. You know how I loathe and detest the situation. It just doesn't feel right. Oh, Dadumres, don't be like that. You're laughing too much at my anguish. No, the SMC seems okay. It programmed fine and everything. Oh, right, I see what you're saying, Warren. That's a fair point, Warren. You make a... So that's fine. If we make sort of observations like that justify things, then I'm sort of more on board. I just hate it when it's like, well, what's next on the list? Yeah, let's try the ISL. I really was thinking it was going to be the SMC with a blown Sys1 wire. Oh, good thing I got a couple of hundred of these 65.9s. Ah, crap on a cracker. I'm not sure how genuinely new these are, but the chips that I hate the most on putting onto boards, TQFPs. Perfect. Yeah, these are HRTZs. They really hurts. So Daniel, did you actually succeed in repairing yours? Just waiting for it to cool down a bit. Yeah, I don't even have the cooler running. Interestingly, if you do VRM replacements on things like the A1398 boards, with the things like the 138s and the 163s and things like that, it's easier to just take the VRM chip off and put a new one down without redoing any of the solder. If you redo the solder, it just becomes a pain, but if you just use their existing solder, it works pretty good. Not a fucker. Nah, wasn't the ISL. That still comes up. What bug? What's the time? Okay, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I really should walk away from this and then check it again in the morning. I'm missing something blatantly obvious somewhere. Blame that cable. How can you blame the cable? We've tried swapping all the cables. We've eliminated it down to just being something on this board. You mean this cable? This isn't even the customer's cable. Or you mean this cable? This whole DC in assembly is my own. This is a known good working one. A 3-pin diode. You're talking about D7005, I'm guessing. Or you're talking about that one. So this here is an important thing. Input impedance of 68k meets the requirements for detection. Actually, shit. Did I even check that resistor? 7012. Oh god. Is it just a bad 7012? Yeah, look, it's got a little bit of a burnish on it now that I look at it. That looks like a burned resistor. 68k. God damn it, this whole thing is over one resistor. Okay, I'm gonna say it's this resistor. Oh, frickin' hell, I can't even measure. 6k. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's this resistor. Because that's about the only other thing throughout everything that I can think of at this point. Where did I put the resistor? Is that you? That's you. Alright, let's measure this thing. Yeah, it's definitely got a burn mark on it. Yeah, that's measuring 10k, not 68k. Assuming I actually pulled the right resistor. It would be funny if I didn't. Although that's a little strange for a resistor to go low like that. Normally when they get burnt they tend to go higher, but it could have carbonized or something. So we could be wrong, but I'm hoping we're right. Oh, these days, creature. Yeah, I mean, you know, being SOT 23, they don't exactly have the best sort of balance, do they? It's a bit like trying to drive a tricycle with the drive as the front wheel. These aren't much better. Oh, these ones. Yeah, they tend to have too much solder on them always, and they just sort of like keel over. Okay, drum roll of disappointment coming up. Ha 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 ha! It was the damn resistor. Fuck me. I don't know why I didn't check that earlier. It works now. Round of applause for myself. So basically I could have solved it. I didn't have to replace the SMC, I didn't have to replace the ISO, I didn't have to replace the connector, but yeah. Well, Daniel, just check the 7012 one, because that's the only one that's the only other part that talks to. Let's see, go to the schematics. Yeah, its only purpose is to provide this input impedance requirement, and that's why I wasn't really looking at it initially, because I forgot that that is where that resistor is that the Magsafe looks for to see whether it's connected or not. In my head I was thinking that was on the DCIN board. That was my mistake. Oh well. Kind of curious how it got damaged though. And yet it didn't seem to take out these guys. I guess the capacitor and yeah, the junction on that probably had enough capacitance to take a hit temporarily. And plus, yeah, it's just a normal Zener, so they're quite tolerant. Well, Daniel, send me an email if it does work for you. Yeah, I don't know, ESD, or I guess it's about the only thing I can think of. Interesting, yeah. It would have been a fair bit to get a 68K to burn like that. I mean, that's it there. I mean, it's no small feat. I could understand if it was 10 to 100 ohms. In that case, it's pretty easy to get them to burn. But yeah, that it's definitely looking worse for wear. And it hasn't violated it per se, but it's definitely warmed it up. But like I said, it's also interesting that it's reduced its resistance rather than increasing its resistance, which is kind of what you more normally encounter. Well, that was one for the books. You can see it's developed a bobble on the right hand side. Very easy if I might just increase the brightness of my lamp. There we go. Oop, blink, blink. That triggers everybody. Yeah, you can definitely see it's bobbled on the right hand side. Cheap charger or lightning? Although I'm not sure about the cheap charger thing, because it does look like they've got the genuine charger. Maybe they're at a friend's place or something, I don't know. Anyway, well, that does reinforce my belief again, though, that if the part doesn't look dodgy, it probably isn't dodgy. Again, I reiterate that is not always the case, but in many instances, you will find when you do eventually get to the fault that you look at the part, it's dodgy, and the others were not. So, but that was a little bit hard to find, particularly to that when you get bugs or just random things on the board, it's very easy for those resistors and other parts to take on that sort of look. So your eye will skirt over it. Like, I'm pretty sure I can go to pretty much any part of the board, look at some resistors, and you'll go, oh, you know, that could have a similar sort of effect. And naturally, of course, I'm not going to find ones in now. Mostly because this one doesn't have any liquid damage. But yeah, I mean, there's like a little pit there. There was that resistor we looked on the other board that we fixed yesterday that had a huge looking hole in it, but it didn't seem to change it. But yeah, there's enough variances in these parts that seeing another one with that sort of a slightly different variance, like that there's a little bit of a matting effect. So is that an issue? And so on and so forth. So yeah, your brain tends to sort of go, nah, that looks pretty normal, that looks pretty normal. One of the things that, like this one here, see, it's like a slightly browner color than the rest. You're, oh, that's been hit by overheat, but you know, probably just normal. So it's not always quite so easy to pick those out. But anyway, there you go. With absolutely no power coming in from the Magsafe, it turns out that it was because it wasn't reading the right impedance on the PPDCIN G3 hotline, which is also a bit of a thrower, because you just sort of in your mind think, okay, yeah, that's the main power in, and that gets activated after the sys1 wire. But really, it should be noted that the Magsafe will look for that 68k load impedance before it even goes anywhere. So we were right at the start of the process. Yeah, the 68k, 68 watt probably worked because it expects maybe a different impedance, and that would have been whatever that fell into. So, yeah. Anyway, so there you go. That was lucky. Good thing that they left that note on the schematic saying 68k impedance is required. If we hadn't found that, I probably would have ended up replacing the whole input section. You know, probably would have gone along and replaced this whole section, which would have included that, and then it would have worked. But now, at least looking at it, I understand why it wasn't working. So, alright then, I'm out of here. I'm going to get some much needed rest, and I'll be able to finally send this back and know confidently that it will continue to work with the new SMC and new ISL and many other parts that it didn't need replacing, but at least they're working well too. So, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care. Maybe tomorrow we'll have the circuit boards for the new USB-C meters. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're taking another trip around the world. Maybe they're going up to the North Pole. Maybe my wife has hidden them and put them under the Christmas tree. Just don't know. If they're here, I'll do a stream. I'll catch you later.